Hey, good morning. It's 11 o'clock. It's time for the Red Shoe Business Club, and I'm talking to you this morning from my desk. It's just been a crazy morning, and I just was barely able to get in here before I knew I had to start the program. So you'll forgive me if things are a little loosey-gooseier than usual, although I recognize that being loosey-goosey is sort of my trademark. So that's the way things are. I'm Mike Wright with, as you can see from the sign, Tax Right, and I'm the sponsor of the Red Shoe Business Club. And what we're talking about today is vision and mission. Vision and mission. I want to say that again, because the important thing about vision and mission is that it's what makes your business work out well. I'm sorry, I was trying to do something on the screen. This is going to be even loosier and goosier than I thought. I'm not that familiar with using the whiteboard feature on Zoom because I was going to try and use my usual hand markings like I do on the pad, but that's not going to work either. It's live. What can I tell you? I've mentioned several times that for an entrepreneur, a vision is what drives them. There's a vision of a future that is better. That vision of a better future can be for the world as a whole. It can be for people who share an interest, for people that share a need. There can be all kinds of visions for that better future. And for an entrepreneur, the idea is that they are going to be the trigger that makes that vision become manifest. And if you don't understand the word manifest, that means to make it real. Instead of being a vision, we make it a reality. There have been many visions in the world. I'll take a minute to talk about one. The United States of America was a vision. It was a vision put together by 13 East Coast English colonies with an idea that we have a governmental idea that we think is better and that we're going to make it available to all people from all countries and from all cultures. And we're going to include them not because of our territory, not because of our location or our language, but we're going to include them because we have this idea. And that idea is expressed that all men are created equal. And if we use modern parlance, we'll say that all mortals are created equal and that they are endowed by their creator with inalienable rights, and that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And in order to protect these rights, governments are instituted among mortals to protect them. That is the core belief of the United States of America. That's the vision. A country founded not on territory, not on race, not on language, but on the idea that all people are equal and that the purpose of government is to protect the rights of people. The purpose of government is to protect the rights of people. That is a vision. That's a vision that after 220 some odd years, we have yet to accomplish in its totality. We've swung back and forth between more and less realization of that mission, of that vision. And at different times, because of different political realities, we have gotten very bad at it. We fought a civil war, not just over the idea of freeing the slaves, but over the idea that all people are created equal and the purpose of government is to protect the rights of people. Well, obviously, you can't be a slave unless you have rights. So we have to eliminate slavery in order for the government to protect the rights of people. That's a vision. That's also some of the happenings that come out of that vision. We derive the things that we do as a government from our vision, however poorly we're able to realize that vision. So the vision becomes what is made manifest. for better or for worse, and we go forward to do that. Everything that I've talked to you about up until this time is about this idea that as an entrepreneur, you have a vision. It may be as lofty as protecting the rights of all mankind, all people kind, all mortal kind, whatever you want to use as a phrase there, or it may be as narrow as I want to have a better way for people to be able to distribute the things that they purchase. Think of FedEx when you think about that. It's a vision. And that's what you want to spend your time thinking about first when you get ready to start your business. Remember last week when we talked about why? Well, we also added to that what for. The why is that why important? If your why is, I'd like to see rainbows and unicorns in everything, what for? What's the importance of rainbows and unicorns? So whatever your vision is, one of the things that you have to consider is, what is the purpose of that vision? We talked about the fact that if the only purpose in your vision is to make more money, then you're probably not an entrepreneur. You may be an investor, you may be an employer, or I'm sorry, an employee, and have the mentality of gathering funds, but that's not sufficient to qualify as a vision, because a vision creates a transformation for other people besides yourself. And the fact of the matter is, and that's why we talk about abundance, that in this abundant universe, there is enough there for everybody. We just have to find the opportunities to make sure that it's made available to everybody. And we need to find ways to make sure that we make it available to ourselves. This is not woo-woo stuff, although it may sound like it if you're not thinking properly. But there's also another name for this, and we'll edge over into that in just a moment. But what I'm talking about now is vision. I'm talking about the big picture. I'm talking about the kind of understanding of what your business is that is akin to the phrase from the Declaration of Independence that says that to protect these rights, governments are instituted among mankind. All men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And to protect these rights, governments are instituted among men. That is a vision. So think about what you do as a business owner. What is your vision? My vision is kind of summarized in the statement that I use as an advertising tagline: taxes stink. Let's clear the air. My vision is that, look, it admits that we're stuck with taxes, but it also admits that they have a bad smell. And so my vision that I bring about here is, let's find a way to make them less stinky for ourselves. Let's clear the air. This is not a program that is started with the idea of eliminating taxes, because I know that will never happen. On the one hand, we don't want it to happen, because if there are no taxes, that means that we have no government there to protect our rights, however poorly they do it. It also means that the only way that anybody can get the money they need to operate the kinds of organization that we need to live a civilized life is through some kind of extortion or pay as you go, everything to have a toll. And that's maybe something that you think is more important, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is to say, we have taxes. We're in the United States, so let's find every way we can to make those taxes less onerous. And we do that not only from the standpoint of individuals, although that's really the crux of what I'm after, but also from the standpoint of businesses. But you'll remember from the things that I've talked about that the businesses that I'm talking about helping are businesses who pay their taxes as individuals, pass-through entities, not so much C Corps, the kinds of entities that pay their own taxes. But even there, the logic is the same. Taxes are a burden. Taxes are something that need to be controlled. And as a consequence of that, you need somebody on your side to control those taxes. Now, so that's my vision. And we're going to stick with that vision. The taxes stink. Let's clear the air. Let's control the way we do taxes. That vision is the broadest possible explanation of what I'm about. It is my why, written large on the sky, at least large in my own mind. You need to spend some time. Maybe you can spend 20 minutes after you watch this program. Spend some time thinking about what you do every day in terms of a vision. What does your vision look like? How can you express it? I've given you two expressions today. One of them very lofty, written by men who've spent hours putting that phraseology together. Another one stimulated by my desire to be able to communicate my purpose briefly in an advertising tagline. But whatever it is, I want you to think about that. But here's the next thing I want you to think about. The next thing we want to talk about is mission. Mission is the way the vision is realized. Now, there could be those that have the same attitude that taxes stink, let's clear the air, and look at that by let's blow up all the IRS offices. Or it could be people that say, as many people in Congress apparently do, if we cut off the funding of the IRS, it will make things easier because the IRS can't function. Those are both statements of mission because that's what you're going to focus on. I focus my mission idea on my ability to find ways to help individuals minimize the tax bill they have to fulfill. And I do that by planning. And I do that by things like the Red Shoe Business Club, or I provide information to business owners that they can use to implement a tax control regime in their own business. Now, I want to come to where I was heading in this direction. That is this. Vision is strategy. Mission is tactics. Vision is the why and the what for. The mission is the how and the what. If you took the time to watch the TED Talk from Simon Sinek, you know that we're talking about the big circle that starts out with why in the middle, how outside that, and what outside that. My what is that I do taxes. My how is I do it by working with individuals to find ways in their particular circumstances that they can reduce their tax bill. But my why, the thing that's in the center, is the idea that taxes stink, and we want to be able to get rid of that smell in our own lives. So, why is the vision? The mission is the what and the how. In fact, we might whittle it down a little bit more and go over into what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and that's goals. See, this idea of vision, mission, and goals is increased specificity, increased detail, increased focus. We can have a broad vision of what we're doing as a business, and that's great. But as we move into mission and then finally down to goals, we're narrowing our focus. Remember, focus is how you get things done, and discipline is doing it. So what I'm talking about when I talk about vision, mission, and goals is I'm talking about narrowing the focus so that we can start doing things in order to accomplish the mission, which will then fulfill the vision. So we narrow down the focus, and then we start acting to expand the success of what we're doing. So your assignment for today, before we do tomorrow's talk, your assignment for today is to sit down and think about what your vision is for your business. It's the same thing as the why, but what it is gives you the opportunity to think about your why, and then to write a mission statement. And that is a statement in a few words that expresses that vision in those few words. And the idea here is from vision to mission is starting to narrow your focus. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about goals. And you're probably sick of hearing about goals because people talk about them all the time. But I want you to be able to understand that goals are a very important thing, and they represent the beginning. They represent the hammers and nails that lead to the manifestation or the creation of the vision that we're trying to create. With me so far? Okay, so that's your homework. That's what you need to do for tomorrow. And until then, I'll say goodbye.